dish of Spanish rice that I made on my cooking channel. But before I talk about too much, I want to do a shout out. Zain Mohammed. Zain Mohammed, a big shout out to you, my friend. And a big shout out to all you people as well, to the rest of my viewers. So Zain Mohammed, there's your shout out. You know, Spanish rice is such a nice, easy dish to make. I used to make it for my kids when they were little. Now, Spanish rice is typically a side dish. You don't always put meat in it. The reason I started putting meat in it was I wanted to turn it from a side dish to a main dish, so that way I could feed a family of, 5. Myself, my ex, and my 3 kids, and they loved it when they were little kids. They loved it. So I just made this on my cooking channel. It's still very hot. Speaking of hot, the weather has been really hot lately. Wow. I mean, it's hot. I walk the dog in the morning, and before 8 o'clock it's hot. Not warm, but hot. Poured myself a nice Cabernet. Oh, that's lovely. Wow. That is so delicious. You know, dishes like this are so easy to make. And you can make them, there's so many variations. You know, if you go on YouTube, a lot of people have different variations of Spanish rice. For instance, some people, like I had corn just for color, more than anything. Oh my goodness, there's my stomach. I had corn just for color. Some people add mushrooms. You know, I had green pepper. I used to make it using tomatoes, like diced tomatoes and tomato paste and stuff like that. But to simplify it for my viewers on my cooking channel, I decided to use just a jar of salsa. I've done it that way before. And I just use a mild salsa. You know, if it's too hot, it's just, I find myself mopping my forehead. This is so good. You know, you can make this a very colorful dish. And what I did for my cooking channel, just before I presented it, I sprinkled some fresh cilantro on there, so it looked pretty good. It's still in there. Now, to make this dish, basically you could just use the meat, the rice, and the salsa. Those 3 things, you'd have Spanish rice. Because the salsa contains so many things, you know, it contains a lot of flavor. But I still added some taco seasoning, you know. Not very much. And a little bit of beef stock. Now, when I made this, I cooked the rice separately. And just in water. You can use chicken stock, beef stock, vegetable stock, whatever. But I made it before where I put my meat in and my ingredients, my tomatoes or salsa, whatever. And when I put the meat in, I put the rice in and mix the rice around and brown the rice. And that works, but I found it got kind of mushy, you know, from all that stewing around and everything. The rice just got overcooked because you're waiting for everything else to cook. You want those flavors frozen corn. I used canned corn in this case, but it turned out very well. My youngest son is camping over on one of the neighboring islands. It's a provincial park run by the indigenous people. They do a really amazing job. They maintain that island very well. The campsites are beautiful. And there's a channel of water that separates that island from Vancouver Island. And at the narrowest part, it's probably, I'd say a few hundred feet. I want to say maybe an eighth of a mile at the most, but probably not even that, probably just a few hundred feet. So I gave my son a ride downtown 2 days ago, Friday. And gave him a ride down there. And he takes his dinghy, throws all his camping gear in his dinghy, and rows across. There's a ferry, a small foot passenger ferry, but he prefers to just row across. So he's going there to meet some of his co-workers. And he's going to come home today, so I told him to text me when he needs a ride home, and I'll just pick him up down there. This turned out very, very good. Very well. You know, my cooking channel, I've mentioned this before I got the idea for it. When I went through my divorce a number of years ago, I was at a get-together this one evening, and there's a bunch of couples sitting around, and there's this lady and her husband, they're sitting on the couch, we're all talking, and I told her that I was newly separated and whatever, and you know, she put her hand on my arm, she says, but you know, are you okay? Are you getting enough to eat? I guess she assumed because, you know, I was now single, I had no one to cook for me, and so I just, you know, politely explained that I was a chef by trade, and feeding myself was the least of my concerns, so that's where I got the idea. Because, you know, my friends, there's a lot of people out there, when they get divorced, they're suddenly on their own, and, you know, there's a lot of things they have to learn to do by themselves, and in many cases, you know, mostly men, they need to learn to cook. My father being one of them. My mom and dad were together for years, and he passed away in 2004. But if mom had died first, my dad would have starved to death. Now I have to tell you, my father was a man of many, many talents. He could build anything, fix anything. I probably mentioned that before. If he couldn't fix it, it couldn't be fixed. But the one thing he could not do was cook. He could butter a slice of toast, you know, burn a steak, scramble some eggs, but that was pretty much it. So he would have benefited well from my cooking channel if need be. And I've known a few friends that when they go through divorce, they eat at Tim Hortons in the morning, McDonald's in the afternoon, and Wendy's in the evening. Oh, this turned out good. Very good. Wow. Very happy. The cooking videos I do, there's a lot more involved, a lot more preparation. You know, you have to try and get it right the first time, otherwise you end up wasting a lot of food, you know. So you try and get it right the first time. That doesn't always happen. Wow, this is so good. Delicious. use a plastic fork. So much quieter rather than all that plate scraping and all that. Oh, that's nice. Lovely. Yeah, I can't get over this weather lately. Man, we haven't had rain in a dog's age. It's been a long time. We have made water restrictions now. You know, they start off where you can use only so much water per day or so much per week, and then if you want to water your flowers, you have to use a handheld sprayer only for 50 minutes a day or whatever. Now it's down to pretty much nothing. It's just so dry. We have not had rain in so long. Now, having said that, the winter just rains all the time. We get a little bit of snow sometimes, but a lot of rain. And we usually have very wet springs. Last year, what a difference. This time last year, we were finally starting to get decent weather. Up to about mid-July last year, I'd walk the dog with my jacket on. It was cool out in the mornings and overcast and cloudy and, just kind of depressing and a lot of rain, or it'd sprinkle at least once a day for even a half hour or something. The lawns don't normally brown up until around end of July, early August. They've been brown now for a couple months. The weeds always do good. The lawn is just as brown as this table, almost a little bit lighter, but it doesn't grow. But the weeds are, dandelions like that. So when I go out to cut the lawn, I'm not cutting the lawn, I'm cutting the weeds. But we're spending a lot of time in the swimming pool. And the other day, when I drove my son down, when he's going camping, we were talking about rafting down the river because I made a video about that, about my son and I taking our rubber boats down the river. That was a few months ago. That was around May, I think. Something like that. Can't remember now, but the water was quite high, but it was getting lower. Now it's just so low. You'd be portaging your rubber raft for the most part, You can see rocks sticking out all over. In the winter, the whole river just swells up. It becomes very scary looking because it's just so fast and so much water in the wintertime. It just, it comes up really, really close, gets higher and higher all the time. I remember one time I made this. It was the first time that I used salsa instead of just canned diced tomatoes and that sort of thing. And I wanted to try it, so I made this dish just using a big jar of salsa, and I grabbed hot by mistake. And man, I was just mopping my forehead, my eyes were watering, my nose was running. That was quite a few years ago, but I remember that like it was yesterday. Really, really hot. I noticed I got an email the other day from the Dry Treats company. They want to send me another box to do an unboxing of their treats. So I'm looking forward to that. They seem to enjoy my videos. You have a nice cold Corona beer. Tastes so good on a day like today. I still got a few Molson Canadian beer left from my Canada Day video, but I have to drive later, so I don't want to drink any. Because I'll probably have to go pick my son up. And my mom is doing very well. I think I mentioned she had surgery on her head for this cancerous growth. That was actually last April. She had that removed, but she had to have some plastic surgery to. Why they didn't do that in the first place when they did the other operations beyond me, but anyways, they did it less than a week ago, and boy, she just came out of there, just bounced right out of there. She walked out of the hospital, and she was under anesthetic and everything. They expected, she's 97, that she'd have some delirium, sharp as a whip. I brought an ice cream bucket in case she was sick in the car, and she wasn't. She was chipper as ever. It looked so funny because they had to put some of this pink dye in her hair. I think it could have been like an antiseptic or something, I'm not sure, but her hair is kind of partially pink and it looks great. She even said she looks like a punk rocker. But it totally suits her. But she hasn't had any discomfort or nothing. Yeah, she's a real trooper. Growing old is a privilege denied many. We've all heard that. And I count my blessings. My health is my wealth. This is a very good dish. My kids always loved it. So easy to make. I drink a lot of these bubblies, especially when the weather's really hot. Orange is my favorite. I notice the ones that don't sell that well, they'll put those on sale. Less than half of what I pay for these. But I don't really care for the other kind. Orange is my go-to. I've tried just about all the kinds. Some are not too bad, but I like these ones the best. Wow, I'm really hungry. I should have picked up a dessert to go with this, but that's okay. Remember down in Mexico, a few months ago when we were down there, I was in the dining room, and there was something with banana peppers and jalapenos, and I got a mouthful of something like, holy cow, I couldn't even breathe. It kind of scared me there for about 15 seconds, because I couldn't even breathe properly. Man, it was hot. I was just wiping the sweat off my forehead. Wow. My eyes were watering. But I'm a sucker for punishment, because the next day I did the same thing again. I knew this guy years ago. he was cooking up prawns. And he always cooked them with a lot of butter, garlic, and hot pepper. And he'd have dehydrated pepper and sprinkle it on there. And, oh man, was it hot. Woo. Good, but hot. Oh, those bubbles are so thirst quenching. Oh, that was good. Just perfect. You know, a little bit of taco seasoning. Like I said, like the type of spoon you stir your coffee with. One of those. I used one of those little OXO packages with the beef base, you know, just one of those. And actually, I probably could have not even used that if I didn't want to. I probably could have put in maybe a little bit extra salt or something. Because the hamburger gives it a lot of flavor. And the taco seasoning gives it a lot of flavor, as does the cilantro. I never put any onion in because I was using a jar salsa and that has the onion and everything in it anyway. And of course the salsa has a tremendous amount of flavor. So, some people may say that's cheating. It's not cheating. It's just simplifying it for some viewers that don't have a lot of cooking skills. That's all. The whole premise of my cooking channel is for people with limited or no cooking skills. You know, rather than opening up, you know, cans of diced tomatoes and you know, tomato paste and not knowing how much to use and blah blah blah. This way it's just so easy. Wow, that was kind of a short video. I downloaded Logitech Capture again because that's how I control my focus on my camera. I don't like that app because sometimes it causes a lot of fluttering and stalling in my videos, and I have to edit that out. And sometimes my logging video, I lost about 5 minutes off that one, you know. So it kind of irritates me. So the last few videos I didn't use it, so you can kind of see the focus. So I think really what I may have to do is just break down and get a new computer, you know. My system, I have the right system requirements for Logitech Capture, but I think maybe the app itself might be slightly flawed. I'm not sure. Anyways, that's my video, my friends. I thank you for tuning in. I love your comments. You know, what I like best about your comments is when you share things. You know, like, you know, when you share, you know, information about yourself or your experiences or what you like. You know, I mean, you know what I like because you know more about me than I do about you. So the more you comment, the more you share, the more I feel I get to know you. So I really appreciate that. Okay, so you take care, look after yourselves, look after each other, and don't forget to stay awesome. Okay.